Hello and welcome to episode 10 of our Unit 4 Financials feature Spotlight series. In this episode, we're going to look at Unit 4 Financials workflow. Workflow has been available in Unit 4 Financials for at least 10 years. It was introduced when they launched procurement and invoice matching. But what a lot of people don't know is that it can be used for other things as well. It's not just a matter of being able to use a workflow for purchase orders and the procurement and purchase invoices and invoice matching. It can also be used for example, approving sales or invoices, both in the billing module and financials. And it can also be used for approving purchase invoices directly in financials. And it's that topic I'll be covering in this video. You can also use workflow for elements, for example, approving suppliers, vendors, and projects. But the emphasis on this video is to show you that it is possible to approve purchase invoices directly in financials because not everybody has Unit 4 Financials procurement and invoice matching. If you are getting purchase invoices either directly into financials, manually or through a third-party application, then this video is for you. Within workflow, there are three main components. There's the messaging, there are position hierarchies, and there are what we call element responsibilities. So let's talk about those three components in a bit more detail. What is messaging? Messaging is the ability to send out an email to the approver so that they can approve. It's also possible to send out an alert via SMS text if you want to. Now, there's also the ability within financials to set an out-of-office within the application so that the email will either be accumulated until the person returns, or you can delegate to another user while you are out of the office. Position hierarchies. Position hierarchies are normally set up in the administration module, and the hierarchies are made up of what we call positions. A position is part of the hierarchy, and you can put into that position more than one user, and normally a position determines the authorization limit for that position. For example, a position for £10,000, another position for £30,000, and a position for £50,000, and you can have numerous users in each position. That tells the system how much that person can authorize. But that's the trick, it only gives the system information on how much they can authorize. But as you know, when it comes to authorization, it's not how much they can authorize, but what they can authorize. And that's where element responsibilities come in. Because, as you're all aware, an element is part of financials that determines a GL code, a project, a department. What you can do is, on the user profile, you can set up an element responsibility and say that person is responsible, for example, for the IT department or the marketing department. So, no matter what is being charged to that department, they are responsible for approving. The element responsibility, in conjunction with the position hierarchy, will tell financials who to direct the document to, whether it's a purchase order, a purchase invoice, etc., etc. Is it possible to have different responsibilities in finance and procurement? If you're in the position where you have both the financial module and the procurement module, the answer is yes. You can set up different rules for different modules. You could have one user in finance authorizing, for example, purchase invoice, and they could have a different responsibility in procurement for approving a PO. They are mutually exclusive. You don't have to have the same element responsibilities for both, and if you think about it, you could probably have different position hierarchies in the different modules. Not only have different amounts, but different responsibilities. You could have a document in finance linked to a workflow and linked to a different position hierarchy and have a separate rule for the user. Like everything else in Unit 4 Financials, it's so flexible, the system, that no matter what your requirements are, there's normally a way to configure financials to do exactly what it is you want to do. That was an overview of workflow. What we'll do now is demonstrate a purchase invoice going into financials and then through a workflow. So here we have Unit 4 Financials. This is the financial module. I've got a portal, and under AP, I'm going to enter the general invoice. I've created a specific document for this PIN GEN workflow. Before I entered this document, let me just show you what's been set up and what we expect to happen. So over here, we've got a position hierarchy. And here I have a petition hierarchy. What you can see here is at the lower level for this purchase invoice, I've got two users who are allowed to enter invoices. One is called AP user and the other one is myself. You can see I'm logged in as install. I've set myself up with the ability to enter an invoice. Above, there are three approvers positions: Approver 1, Approver 2, and Approver 3. When it comes to how much they can authorize, you'll see it's set up as unlimited. They can sign up to 999 million. I've set up different responsibilities for these three approvers. Approval 1 is responsible for the IT department, Approver 2 is responsible for finance, and Approver 3 is responsible for marketing. I'm going to put an invoice in and send it to the IT department. I'll put in a date, invoice number, purchase order number, document description, etc. This here is set up with flexi fields. As standard, check the header. Put in a supplier and a value. Now the expense, let's say consultancy. For the IT department, generate tax, validate it for books, and it's ready to post. Because it's going through a workflow, it's configured that data can only go to the in tray. If we tried to post to books, it will prevent me because I've set it up for workflow. Send it to the in tray. From there, it's going to create a workflow. This screen is key, proof of the workflow. You can see it's going into workflow called fin.doc.temp, and it's going to a certain position. Document number 6 has been posted. And if I go into the in tray, there is the document on the entry. You can see that the status is unauthorized. That's my document number, put in by me for £1,200. If I try and auto-post this, it will error. It'll say, sorry, you need to get it authorized. So it's fixed there. Before we go any further, let's see what's happening in workflow. If I go into workflow and look at instances, the date today is the 27th. Here is the workflow. You can see that it's gone to Approver 1 for approval. It hasn't gone to Approver 2 or Approver 3, it's gone to Approver 1 because Approver 1 is responsible for it, and it's now awaiting approval. Let's log out and log in as Approver 1. As I log in, you can see an alert. It's notifying me I've got one document awaiting approval. If I go to my Browse Work list, you can see I've got plenty of things I still need to approve, but here, this bottom one is our example for approval. Now I can simply approve it. But first, let's have a look at what it is. I can look at the work item, that shows me the document. The person approving can look at this and say it's on the in tray, etc., etc. It's also possible to add an attachment. If on that document you'd scan the image and put the purchase invoice in, then the approver could look at the physical invoice that was scanned before approving. What kind of responses can the approver do? Well, obviously, you can approve it. What happens when you approve it? It will automatically move from the in tray to the books, The people in finance do not have to do a thing. It will automatically be posted to the books. If it's denied, then an alert will go back to the person that sent the workflow. It will say that it's been denied, but you'll notice if I put deny, you have to add a comment. If I try and deny without a comment, it will not allow me. You must tell the person why it's being denied. You can request information. It may be that the approver needs more information before making the decision on whether to approve it or not. The comment can be aimed at anybody within Unit4 financials. It could be that the AP clerk sent it, but the person who approves it wants the response from the project manager. And you can delegate. The approver could receive it and think, even though it's come to me, I don't think I should be approving this, and you can then delegate it to somebody else for approval. Let's keep it simple now, though. I'm going to approve it. That's it. If I now log back in as install, let's see what's happened. If I look at the workflow, you can see it's completed. The first one was one that I did earlier today, but this one, against document number 6, you can see it went to approval 1, it was approved, and now it's completed. Let's have a look in finance and see what's happened. It was document number 6, and there you can see it's been posted. It's no longer in the in-tray, but it's now in the books waiting to be paid. If this is something that you would like to investigate further, then please do contact us. We're always happy to help. You can watch more of our Unit4 Financial Spotlight series on our YouTube channel. Here at Millennium Consulting, we provide dedicated support for your business. Our team of consultant-grade application and technical experts provide you with a wealth of experience in supporting mission-critical systems. We monitor and manage your solutions so you do not have to, allowing you to focus on growing your business. Contact us for further details by visiting our website, millenniumconsulting.com. Thank you.